Hello and welcome to Mini Bloks. You're watching Mini Bloks Vlogs. This is the floor, that's SpiderMan, and today we're talking about these Hasbro Marvel Superhero Mashers. I wrapped up my Marvel Mega Bloks collection, which ended up at 50 odd figures, and I was focused on that. I bought other things, but I was solely focused on Marvel Mega Bloks. I went out and I was always on eBay, always on Amazon in the UK and on the American sites, and trying to do Google searches for the harder ones to find, and I was dedicated to collecting them all, and obviously then I eventually collected them all. And I was thinking, right, that one's wrapped up. What do I actually like next? And there was a process of, there's not a lot of things that really drew my attention. Those mini-mates, I quite like them, but I don't like them enough. Lego got the Marvel license, and I'm really just not that big a Lego fan. Sorry to offend anyone out there. I love Lego, I think they're cool, I like having the figures, but I'm really not that into it. I don't think they look, I just don't get it. That's a topic for another day. So sort of, where do I go from here? What am I actually after? What am I interested in? And then I saw these. It's actually up there. The original Spider-Man figure is what actually caught my attention about Hasbro's Mashers series. I'm a big Spider-Man guy, I love Marvel, and so when I saw the Spider-Man Masher from Wave 1, I was like, you know what? He's cool. He's got a cool little style to him. And they're £8, £10, £11 sometimes, but when you find figures like Hasbro's Marvel Legends series, which I also really like, but in Toys R Us, for instance, they can start hitting £22, £25 for 6-7 inch figures, and these guys are 8-inch, and I know there's a big difference in quality between them being more characteristically stylistic, which is a good version, and also at times kind of a little bit cheaper in terms of how they built it or how they painted it or whatever else. Whereas with the Marvel Legends line, I feel like they've gone a little bit further out to make something that's more of a collectible figure. But basically, I'm not necessarily deciding on things due to what price they are, but I didn't think that they warrant the £22, £25 for the Marvel Legends. And when I saw these, they were a little bit, gimmick is the wrong word, but like from a comic book perspective, they've got all sorts of different cool like art styles, and I'm going to butcher his name, but the artist that does Spider-Man, has been doing Spider-Man for years now with Dan Slott, Ramos. I love his work and I love his style, and his style is very similar to how they are, big sort of chunky limbs at times and slimmer in other areas, and a bit sort of quirky looking, and I really like that, and that appealed to me. So therefore I was like, if I'm going to get into doing something else that's going to be a collection, Hasbro's Marvel Superhero Mashers is sort of where I'm looking. And so my first two figures were Spider-Man and Green Goblin. They're up there on the shelf. I think now I've got 29 figures. I bought these last week and a bit ago, which is Star-Lord and Rocket Raccoon, are the first two Mashers figures that I think I've bought this year. The last ones I remember getting was for my birthday, when my girlfriend got me Iron Patriot and Marvel Now Iron Man, the black and gold one. I really like the Mashers. I see them and I look through them every time I see them, but I've kind of fallen out of grace with them a little bit, and I think that's maybe because over here in England they've not really been turning them around that quickly. I can still find Wave 1 figures. You occasionally find some, they're a big jumble up, but they're not like, this is a specific Wave 1 and specific Wave 2 and everything else. And now I think the newest figures I've seen is Carnage and Superior Spider-Man. I know they're from a later series, but they don't have the full series. It's just one random one just appears every now and then, and they don't seem to be getting any cheaper. And I think I've already got the ones, if I've seen the figures that I'm like, I want that figure, I've probably already bought it. Whereas like, there's a lot of figures that I still need to get to finish off the waves that I've started collecting. But when they're 11, some of them are still £11, £10, and it's like, I just can't seem to buy them anymore. And I think it's because there's so many things that's cropped up, like Ooshes of late, and then like Marvel 500, things of that nature where I can get 5 minifigures for £10 or 1 Marvel Masher that I'm not that bothered about. Particularly with Mega Bloks releasing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, that's my entire mindset is straight for Ninja Turtles now by Mega Bloks, because I love Mega Bloks and I love Turtles, so that's where my money's going to go. So unfortunately, when it's, you know, you're against a £10 for one figure that's kind of alright. I think something else that, as a collector, that kind of really annoys me about Marvel Mashers is I've not looked recently, but I've looked many times in the past at Hasbro's own Marvel Mashers website, and I found that if you go and try and research the figures and look through their store, they don't tell you everything they've made. You can go on there and you can find just a couple of random figures. There's a Doctor Doom from Series 1, it's probably out of stock, and then there's a couple of just other figures. There's maybe about 15 figures. They don't have everything from everything they've ever made, and I feel like if you've made this is your product. If I'm going on your website, I want to see wave 1 of the single figures and all of them. I want to see wave 1 of your deluxe figures and all of them. Wave 1 of your electronic figures, wave 1 of your battle packs, and then wave 2 and wave 3 and wave 4. I want a checklist. I want to be able to look at that as a collection and be like, these are the ones I'm missing, these are the ones that are out of stock, these are the ones that are hard to find. Nothing. It doesn't even tell me which is from which series. The only reason I have an idea of it is just because I've got an idea because I've been keeping an eye on them, and also someone's done a wiki page, and that's my only kind of guide if I'm thinking what else do I need? A wiki page. There's nothing that really sort of helps bring that one forward, and that really puts me off now, because it's like I don't have time to just do all this research myself and try and guesswork things. I just want it to be clear as day. Just on the back of the packet, just tell me who's in that wave. And they don't even do that. They do a whole mixture of this limb from this character, this limb from that character, but I'm fairly sure that they're not actually wave specific. I think more or less they are, but they also don't tell you everyone that's in that wave, and I think that just puts me off. I find that a difficult thing. If I want to try and collect something, at least tell me what there is that I can actually collect, because if you're just going to, you know, figure it out, all right, I'll go buy something else. Thank you. The other things that bug me about them, it kind of comes down to, Spider-Man's the big problem. Spider-Man obviously is my favorite, so I'm interested in buying all the different variations. They've got technically three Spider-Man molds now. That's Spider-Man 2099, Iron Man fell over. Spider-Man 2099 is from the original Wave 1 Spider-Man figure, which I still think is the best they've done. And obviously Spider-Man's got the many different suits, so you can do all these different alternatives and variations, which is also good. Two-shot four's been disconnected. And then they did a second mold, which kind of lies into the third mold. They did the Spider-Man again in red and blue, but they put all the web details on his suit, which is probably my least favorite Spider-Man. And also there's Ultimate Spider-Man, which I can't remember which one came out first. But basically they did the stupid web attachments onto his hands. And that really, really annoys me as a fan, because I want to get them all up here and have them as a collection. Now admittedly I left him on there, but that bugs me. Some stupid giant plastic blue gun you've just stuck on his arm. I don't know if that means that I need to go buy another figure so I can get a replacement arm and get rid of that stupid blue gun, but it really bugs me that you've done that, to be honest. And to have cool different Spider-Man variations, but it's got giant bright blue web cylinders stuck on his hand and I can never get that off. That really, really bugs me. I don't want that. I don't want any dumb attachments. I want them to just be a plain figure. If you're going to do that as an attachment, make it as an additional limb that I can swap in and out, because I just don't want it. And that annoys me. And then maybe the biggest thing, well, on that topic, they did Superior Spider-Man basically, is one of the newer ones. One of the ones I was really interested in seeing and then eventually saw it, and it's like Superior Spider-Man to me is one of the coolest things they've done with Spider-Man in recent years. Completely screwed up the ending and all that jazz. another topic idea. I have all these things of what am I going to do for a vlog? What am I going to do for a vlog? And then I sit down and talk about it, and it's like, all right, yeah, I could do that as a vlog. I'll forget it, but I might remember. Superior Spider-Man. And Superior Spider-Man still doesn't have a cool figure. You know, I want something, I probably just want a model, really, that's just him in his latest suit with all the details on him and the spider legs. Just do that. But this is just basic red and blue web detailed Spider-Man with stupid gigantic attachments on it. Let's just make him red and black. Superior Spider-Man. Send him out, let everyone go buy him, because that's how they make money. And unfortunately, that makes me not want to buy it. In fact, that makes me resent it. I also do want to buy it because of who it is, but it's not very good. And on the flip side, which I already have bought Hobgoblin, but I'm a really, really big Hobgoblin fan. I love Hobgoblin. It's probably my favorite Spider-Man villain, realistically. And everyone always does it, but Hasbro's done it with Marvel 500, and they've done it with Marvel Mashers, and they've just done Green Goblin, who's a alright, more or less accurate Green Goblin, and then just swap the colour palette and send him out again. There's Hobgoblin, everyone. Now he's orange and blue. Go buy that. They've done Doctor Doom, and they've given him a cape. You get a cape for Loki. I think they've done it for Thor and Doctor Doom. And Doctor Doom's head mold is a cloak with his mask, which is fine. Hobgoblin has a cloak. So clearly you're capable of making capes. Clearly you're capable of molding hoods. So why couldn't you just do a good Hobgoblin figure? But unfortunately, they've decided to just do a cheap version and just ship them out and do a color palette swap, which is the main problem with Marvel 500, and that bugs me as a Hobgoblin fan. But at least in Marvel 500, they have now done a different Hobgoblin. I think I found that on Series 6, but I've not seen a good Hobgoblin Marvel Masher yet. And if they had one, I would have bought it probably online or imported it, because that's what I want. If you did that with Superior Spider-Man, same thing. You do a cheap version of it, I'm gonna lose interest in buying your figures. Sorry. There's a few of them that I've seen, like Thanos and Daredevil, and I can't remember if there's a Punisher one or not. I really can't remember. I don't think there is. I think it's like on a upcoming line, but do a Punisher figure and make sure he's good, and I'll be buying those 3. So I bought Star-Lord and Rocket Raccoon. They were 2 for £14. I kind of didn't want to buy them just because they put a bit of effort into making Rocket Raccoon smaller. I don't think he's small enough. If they made a Rocket Raccoon mini and sold it with like a Groot, that would have been much better. But they weren't doing micro mashers at the time. We'll get to that. And Star-Lord is just, he's kind of the movie theme, but it's not like entirely there. Just blue t-shirt, blue jeans, red jacket, and his face mask. And the head sculpt's fine, but the body's just like casual wear, that'll do. Ship him out. I don't think Rocket Raccoon's brilliant. I think Drax and Groot look good, and they put effort in, I feel, by making Groot very different, giving him a very different kind of mold with his unique arm and things. So that they put a lot of effort into it. And Drax looks really good because they followed the comic book style of modern Drax versus the movie style or the old style. You can find my Drax video and Groot videos on youtube.com/miniblocks. So if they did Rocket Raccoon and Star-Lord as the Dan Abnett, Andy Lanning comic book style from 2008, then I would have just bought them. I don't care if you put stupid attachments on them. I know it goes against it, but I would have bought them anyway, because if they had like comic book look to them, I would have just bought it. But I wanted them anyway, because it kind of finishes off my Guardians of the Galaxy collection. But I think they need to really, it just feels like they've stopped caring themselves, because I don't feel like anyone's pushing it. I don't really see anything about it. Like I said, the website didn't even show all of their content. And it just kind of feels like they've just sort of drifted off, and they're still kind of churning them out, and shops have still gotten them everywhere to try and sell them, but they're only selling all the old ones. So I don't know. It feels like they've lost interest and people have lost interest in buying it. That's just my take on the outside without really doing some research. which is a shame because I think they were onto something pretty good and they just drifted off. Which brings me to Hasbro's Marvel Micro Mashers, which is something else entirely. So the Micro Mashers, the first I knew about it was also in Asda. I found the, whatever you call the little thing that you hang all your figures on. That was that, and it said Micro Mashers, and there was nothing there. There was just nothing. And I was like, what the hell does that mean? Therefore I assumed something was coming out. I did some research and I found them, on Hasbro's website, and they are awesome. They look fantastic. They're the same kind of style that I love about these, but they're much smaller, and they're not, I don't think they're that posable. So you sort of construct them together, but they're all weird poses, and they look brilliant. I absolutely adore how they look. They're super stylistic, and I kind of feel like I've got 30 of these and I've put them on top of a bookshelf and I've got no space for any more. They're going to fall off. Smaller figures I'm kind of more drawn to buy. So the Micro Mashers, I love what they do with figures, I love the style of them, and I much prefer them at being a smaller size. The problem with them, is how expensive they are. Now I know you can kind of argue that does it really matter? I suppose people are paying for them. They're a bit different than if you bought like a blind bag minifigure. But at the same time, they're still about that big. They come with like an accessory, or you can get with the vehicle, you can get double packs and things. But just one little figure and a little vehicle is about the same price, if not more expensive, than buying a single one of the full-size figures, which to me is an immediate off-put, basically. If I go into a shop now and I see like a Black Panther Micro Masher, which he's almost my favorite one. I think he looks brilliant, the Black Panther one, versus just one bag of Anushi. That's £2 versus £7. Why would I pay £7 for him? That's what bugs me. And if you get like double packs, they get ridiculously expensive. I've seen them up to £22, £25, and it's just, why are they that expensive? If they were $3.50, $3.99, I would have bought them. But £6 to £7 just for one little, they're onto something really cool with them, so I'm hoping they're still making them, but I just can't warrant that price tag. You know, I'm going out, I guess, on a budget, and if I see figures or something that's cool, I haven't seen before, I'm not against buying things, but I'm against paying £7 for a micro figure. It just seems far too expensive, which is annoying because when I think about it, they do look really good. I think I've seen like a big multi-pack that must have about 4 or 5 of them in, and that was expensive. I think that was 27, 28, 30 pounds. It just seems really expensive. I know you could probably divide that to the figures and be a cheaper per figure thing, but it just seems too expensive, and that's also kind of sucky and annoying and sad and frustrating. I'm hoping to see a few more of the newer Marvel Superhero Masher figures out. I'm hoping to see a few more of them at a cheaper price. I'd really like to see the Micro Mashers at a cheaper price. And then I might actually try and get into collecting them all. My original plan for mini blocks was to do a video for each of my Marvel Superhero Mashers, and as I built up the collection and completed the waves, you would have a full library of videos of all of these characters, and I thought that would be a good thing to achieve, but obviously my interest has just plummeted, and I just can't bring myself to buy these ones that I wanted to. At one point in time I spent 60 to 90 pounds, I believe, on Marvel Mashers because they just had the double packs. They had Hulk and Loki and Dr. Octopus and SpiderMan, and it's like awesome. I just bought all of them, and I think I got the Iron Spider one as well. My interest is not there anymore. Admittedly, I've also got financial responsibilities now that I didn't have then, but I just can't warrant it, unfortunately. They're just too expensive for me. But that's just my take on it. But if you do like the Marvel Superhero Mashers from Hasbro and what other toys you maybe collect, or if you've got questions for me or questions about my collection, make sure to leave a comment below, and or for a quicker way to get into mini blocks questions, you can drop me an email at mbq@mail.com and I'll get back to you. Or I'll read it, or I'll look at it and put it in the spam folder. Depends who emails me, really. But thank you for watching, you know? Agent Venom. Thank you very much for watching my video. Make sure to hit that subscribe button down below to stay up to the latest from my channel. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Pinterest under Mini Bloks. What else would it be? If you want to see some Hasbro Marvel Superhero Mashers videos, then you can go find two of my favorite over on my channel. That's SpiderMan 2099 and Rhino Battle Pack and Drax the Destroyer over on youtube.com/minibloks. But for everything else, Marvel Superhero Mashers and micro figures and expensive toys I don't want to buy, make sure to keep it locked to Mini Bloks, because where it's budgeted is tight and possibly could potentially be toys.